Welcome back to another session of Smoking with BP. I'm BP West, and today we're going to take on two very tough things to put on the grill. But before we get started, make sure that you like and subscribe and hit the notifications button so you can get all my latest updates. When it comes to smoking ribs, a lot of people go for spare ribs or baby backs, but today we're going to go with the complicated beef ribs. So we're going to be smoking a couple of slabs of beef ribs today. A lot of people are afraid to do these because they're hard. They don't really know how to cook them, and they take a long time. We're also going to be smoking some chicken wings. Now, I know I said we're going to be doing two difficult things. Chicken wings to me is very difficult to do because they cook fast. So you have to know when to flip them, how to keep them moist and everything so they'll turn out perfect. All right, so let's prep our ribs. So the first thing we're gonna do is take you a good nice sized pan, and we're gonna put these ribs in meat side down. Now, unlike spare pork ribs, where you would pull the membrane off the back of it, you really don't need to do that with these beef ribs, right? So we got us a nice, really good slab, nice and meaty all in there. All right, so the first thing you wanna do is you wanna let these ribs marinate in a little bit of beer. The yeast in the beer is going to help break down the meat so they can become really, really tender. So you don't have to spend a lot of money on beer. Just get you a nice, less expensive beer. So I'm using a Budweiser, King of Beers. Like I said, this beer is going to help to start to break down this meat so it can marinate, because we're going to have this really tender. Now, on your beef ribs, they're going to take about 4 hours to cook. We want them on the smoker for about 4 hours, but we're going to let them marinate in this beer for approximately 1 hour. So an hour prep, 4 hours on the smoker. Then we're going to take them off the smoker, wrap them in a little butcher paper, and put them back on there for maybe about 45 minutes to help lock in this flavor. So total time, we're looking at about 5.5, 6 hours. So that beer is nice and cold. No need to put this in the refrigerator or anything. I'm just going to set this off to the side. So next we're going to prep our chicken wings to go into the smoker. Now, when it comes to chicken wings and smoking or barbecuing, I like to cut the very tail end of this off. The drum and the wing is, the drum and the flat is what we want to cook. Easiest thing to do is just make sure you have a really sharp knife. Now, we don't want to split these in half anymore because, like I said, they're going to cook at a fairly fast rate. So you want the flat and the drum together. Okay, so we've got all of our ends cut off of our wings. We just have the flat and the drum. The next and very most important step is we want to pull the sides of these flaps out because a lot of times you'll still have hair from the feathers that's on the end. So you just want to take and burn those off of there. Last thing you want is for someone to pick up a piece of your chicken and you still got part of the feather and hair that's still on there. No, it won't kill you, but we want the food to be as perfect as possible. But typically, you'll just have these on the ends of the flats. So we burned off all the hair and feathers off of our chicken. We got our wings ready, so now we're going to go ahead and season them. So I picked this up. You can get this at either Home Depot or Walmart. This is a Weber honey garlic rub. So we're going to go ahead and just sprinkle that on our chicken. Now, unlike ribs or shoulder, things of that nature, you really don't have to oversaturate your wings. You're going to season them just as you would if you were frying them or anything else. So let's go ahead and flip those over. Okay, so we're going to cover this and we're going to let this sit for about 2 hours. I'll put this back in the fridge because I really want those spices to get down in there. In about 2 hours, we're going to put this on the smoker. So we'll see you outside next. Okay, we're out here on the grill. Our ribs have been marinating for just about an hour in the beer that we prepped them in. So we're going to take them off. We're going to go ahead and season them and then get them on our grill. So as always, I'm using my Pit Boss pellet upright smoker, and in here today I have hickory and apple pellets. So that's the mixture that we're going with today. All right. So as you can see, that beer has had an opportunity to soak in there and really start to break this down. Okay, so we're going to take our rub and we're going to sprinkle our rub on there to get that in there. Now, just look in the description down below and you'll see all the ingredients for my rub. Now, when we cook this, we're going to cook it at about 220, 225 degrees. Because we're looking for an internal temperature on these beef ribs of about 200, 205 degrees. Now we're going to let these initially cook for about 2 hours. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to open it up. We're going to let it cook for about 2.5 hours. And then after that, every hour, every 45 minutes to an hour, we're going to turn and spritz it. So we're going to spritz it with a little apple juice just to make sure that we just keep the moisture in there. Make sure that you really open these ribs up, because we want that seasoning to penetrate all in there. Okay, so we're going to turn these upside down because we want that meat side down. So I'm going to go middle rack on my ribs. Next up, we're going to get our chicken wings on. Now, you see these are set and our spices have really gotten into there. Now I'm going to assemble these on the grill, all facing the same way, so that when I go to flip them over, I know which side they've been cooking on. Now when you're smoking wings, it's going to take a little bit longer than when you just regular barbecue, right? Because we're cooking on indirect heat, we're cooking with smoke only, so these are going to cook a lot longer, but the flavor in here is going to be amazing. Perfect. Now, since I'm cooking my ribs and my chicken together, I got my ribs in the middle, and I'm going to go very top rack on my chicken just to give a little bit of space in between. Now, on our wings, we're not going to cook them as long as our ribs. We're going to go maybe 3 hours, 3.5 hours on here before we pull them out. But I'm going to spritz these every 2 hours, just as I am with the ribs. So we'll come back and we'll see you in about 2 hours. Okay, we are exactly 4 hours into this, so now we're going to take our ribs off and wrap them. So, as you can see, they're pretty almost well done. They got a good smoke that's hit onto there, but now I still need about another hour or so. So we're going to wrap them in butcher paper and put them back on. So, an absolute must when cooking any kind of big meat like a brisket or beef rib or anything like that, you got to have you some butcher paper. Now, you could do this with aluminum foil, and that's fine. But most pit masters we'll use butcher paper. Okay, so safety note, you can only do this when you have indirect heat, meaning that the flame isn't going to be up underneath this because obviously the paper will catch on fire. So either offset grill or an upright smoker or a pellet smoker like this where we don't have an open flame. And what that's going to allow to do, what's that is going to do is allow all that moisture just to creep back in there and be contained. These wings are done. So you can tell by the wings, they're nice and smoky. They're the temperature they need to be, about 165 degrees internally. Real oily right now from just the smoke that's in there. So these bad boys are good to go. We're gonna take these off, wrap them up, get them on the inside, and just wait for our ribs to get done. So we'll see you on the inside. Okay, so we're back inside. We're totally done. We're gonna take a look at everything to see how it turned out. Okay, so totally smoked wings, indirect heat. Cut that apart so you can see, cooked all the way through, real smoky. It smells amazing. Taste is unbelievable. That honey garlic that we put on really gave it a really nice flavor. So the total times for the wings, I season them and I let them sit on the seasoning for about an hour and a half, and then 4 hours smoke time. So 5.5 hours total time for the smoked wings. That's a long time, but totally worth the wait on these. All right, so let's go to our beef ribs. You can see from our butcher paper that oil and juice really soak that up. So it came out really cooked. You can see it's pulling back from the bone. It's well done. It smells incredible. So we got the nice smoke ring in there. It's cooked all over. Let's give it a taste. So the key with doing these beef ribs is to not be afraid to do it. Take your time with it. We let it sit in the beer for an hour. We seasoned it right on the spot, smoked it for 4 hours, wrapped it, and put it back on for another hour. So 5 hours total time on the grill. The smoker didn't get above 220 degrees. So low and slow, you take your time with it, and it's gonna come out perfect like that. All right, so everyone let me know what you think. Try it, and if you try it yourself, come back and send me a comment and let me know how you did. So until next time, thanks. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.